Now? Now can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Testing. 1, 2, I can't remember how to count. Okay, excellent. There's a lag in the chat too, which makes all of this extra better. So, there's a lag between me and you guys, and then between the chat and me, and so if it looks like I'm not responsive, it's probably because of that. And also, oh my god. Okay, so it still apparently has like 40 minutes left to upload that video because it needs to make it HD. Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, I couldn't know that was gonna happen before because you can't start a live premiere until the live premiere starts, and I assume that it would either automatically start the video or there'd be a clear button for me to hit, and neither of those were a thing. But thank you for staying around. And I'm gonna leave that up because I don't care, whatever. I have no shame and I have no secrets. I unearthed them. I guess I do keep a lot of secrets from you guys, but that's only because Steve tells me I have to. Okay, do you want to watch it here? As long as you promise to go and give me a view on the other one. Because I worked very hard on this. It's not even an impressively large amount of work. It's to the point where somebody should have intervened. The lag is so long. Maybe I should open more things on my computer, make this more difficult. Okay. La la la. Wait. No, I need Christina to say something so I can... There. Might as well do that now. Okay. Hi everybody, there's 6 of you guys in here. Excellent. We lost 2 since I started. This is super good. So you guys are the ones that I will remember for always as being my extra great friends. Yeah. So, I'm not on Top Chat. Did we want to watch it right now? I got a lag. Oh my god. I so need a nap. And this leg is silly. Let's watch it. Okay. So we'll watch it here. And then we'll talk about James Yoblonski, who is currently and recently missing from Sauk County in Wisconsin. And we'll then do discussion about David Schwochert, and I have a couple videos of the locations where the one location where the gas station had been. My dad drove me to the abandoned lot of the old gas station and where he was found. And so I have just videos showing you guys what it looks like at night now. And then I also have, and then I just have some pictures from when we were in Texas for Amber's case, and of me and Larry underneath the house, because that is relevant to what I'm going to show you guys in a second in the video you didn't get to see yet. And yeah, so, and then just a reminder that it'll be 40 years. Now can you hear me? Oh my... Hello? Hello? My audio is repeating. Testing.
Why is that happening?
1, 2. I can't remember how to count. Okay, excellent. There's a lag in the chat too, which makes all of this extra. Why? I think it stopped. God, is that you? Okay, I'm just going to play this damn video. I'm gonna hide in the corner. But not out of shame. I'm not hiding in the corner out of shame, just so you guys can see everything. And a little bit of shame. I have no shame. I'm not gonna re-listen to it. Alright. No. I'm unplugging my microphone, so you got... No, because then you guys... How do I make it so you guys don't get 2 of my video sounds? I feel like... Can I play a video without you guys getting 2 of the video sounds? I'm too tired for this. Okay. Yeah, let's try it. Who cares? I appreciate the 8 of you guys that are here. Because, you know, it's gotta go super poorly the first, 5 times, and then everything will be figured out. Yes. Testing. The testing phase. Because if I play this, you would only get the audio from the... Let me know if you guys hear 2 audios.
Christina and I recently headed down to Devil's Lake to meet a mysterious stranger from the internet. But why would we do this? Because meeting people on the internet has gone really well for us in the past. First, let me take you all back to May to get you caught up on what we've been doing. In May, I took my sister down to Texas because we were going to meet 2 guys from the internet that had befriended me. This one, and this guy. And because of them, we met a bunch of really friendly people. I even got to meet the medical examiner. Christina also befriended Detective Puente, who still to this day might be concerned for her well-being. We also met Larry. There's nothing funny about why we were there for Larry. Amber's story will be in a future video on my page with the seriousness and respect the situation deserves. After Texas, we headed back home. And we were excited to go out and make more content for you. We were pumped to put ourselves on precarious cliff sides and jump around just to see what would happen. And other stuff. And dance. And whatever, I guess. And we were ready to meet a bunch more strangers, like these guys. Nothing like a clown car full of influencers in the woods to get you nervous. I mean, to get you solid content. And we were ready to take some really interesting pictures to share with you. Like I said, we were literally pumped to produce over-the-top content just like this guy. However, Christina took a different kind of trip without me and barely documented it. So she went on the road without me, but didn't go alone. She met some really nice new friends. And once they got to their destination, the building was so big that they lost their way. They figured it out eventually. And then we're lost again. But finally, Christina made it to her suite at the top of a beautiful building with 24-hour concierge service, which might also be ghosts. Where was she? St. Luke's Medical Center, because of this. That. This right here. That's right. She almost paralyzed herself. I also got injured. And here's my totally real x-ray. My injury was so bad that all the doctors threw up and then quit. Some of them quit while throwing up. But don't try to ask them about it. They still can't talk about it to this day. I'm not really sure how I pulled my head, neck, and shoulder all at the same time. I may never know. But at least it wasn't this. Right here. Now we're back on the road with Christina's fancy new cane by her side and an eager passion for small-town gas station bathrooms. We're excited to create more than adequate content just for you. And we're excited to go to all our favorite places and do all our favorite things. And, of course, meet a new stranger from the internet at a mysterious rural location. Oh, hi Harold. No, sorry, it's not Harold this time. So we gingerly got into Christina's car, threw her cane in the back, and headed south. To meet our super duper awesome mystery guest. But who is it? It's Di. It's Di Diz. It's Diane. We met Princess Di. And she brought soda. We were super excited to meet her. She seemed excited too. Christina eventually convinced Di to exit her vehicle at a rural Walmart parking lot on the outskirts of Baraboo, Wisconsin. And then Di showed us how to magnet fish. There's that step, this part, that one. Oh, and that's the most important thing. We didn't magnet fish. Instead, we drove down Highway 12 to, that's right, the now defunct Badger Army Ammunitions Plant. Whee! So we entered the grounds of Badger Army Ammunitions to chat in person for the first time, hang out, and do some exploring. We chose this defunct property to explore because we were on the lookout for anything out of place, anything concerning, or anything suspicious in this area. Oh, there we go. That was easy. It's good that the people we meet on the internet have a hard time being creepy, even when you ask them to on film. We continued the drive to search the rural roads and hang out. I did a really good job filming.
Oh,
beep.
Did I not record any of that? Oh.
Beep, beep, beep.
No, I thought I recorded all that.
Beep.
It's a joke video, yeah. I mean, until the very end. Then it'll make sense.
Christina felt at home, driving on the gravel and dirt roads in the middle of desolate fields as we scanned the countryside for anything concerning. We did see a pickup truck several times on our journey out there, but I'm sure that's fine. A stranger in a creepy pickup truck is just a friend we haven't met yet.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make a fun video showing what we did.
We continued north,
meeting Di.
where I got out of the car to check the area.
But then I have a serious video after this though.
Let's get out of here.
I did think about Bigfoot.
Oh, ha ha ha.
Oh my gosh. Can I zoom?
They promised me that they'd be back.
There we go.
Me having to run after the
I'll wait
car
for her
was
to
serious.
catch up and then take off again. Oh man, I didn't realize I had gone so far.
They're not stopping.
Take her a minute
I
to
know.
finish.
It's like a little dot.
Hurry, Carolyn, the truck's coming.
It's okay, he only has a meat cleaver.
Oh god, I hear that black pickup truck coming over the hill up front.
Yeah, they don't know what caused.
I'm not running
her
all the
back
way
to
up
do that.
here.
I'm running all the way up here. But she had surgery and she's feeling better.
Okay, take off again.
She basically herniated the wrong way.
Isn't this fun?
Better her than me.
I do not smoke weed. But I probably should after that.
There we go.
Well, wasn't that fun for us? Next, we had another beautiful location to check out.
We are sober.
We sure took Di to a lot of interesting places today.
Well, after that, we headed back to the Highway 12
It
entrance.
totally looked like I
We
wasn't
covered a
wearing
good part
shirt.
of the public land that once was Badger ammunition.
Totally was.
But now, it was time to bid adieu to this gem of Sauk County. We wanted to check out more of the countryside south of Devil's Lake. We headed back up Highway 12 and took a left. Then we headed south to check out the shores of the Wisconsin River. There aren't many places where you can access the Wisconsin River by road on public land around here. But that won't stop Di from making a scene. Watch out, Di! There's a river back there! After we saved Di from the sign, and herself, we headed through Sauk City, home of the original Culvers, to find more places to access the Wisconsin River.
I was really bad at filming the landscape.
Well, we didn't have any luck with that, so we headed back towards the bluffs, stopping off at an old cemetery, of course. I showed Di how to locate buried headstones. Oh, and there's my butt. Thanks, Christina. Ugh, she's so fired. We found some. I also showed Di what to look for when looking for unmarked graves in cemeteries.
I'm wearing my comfy socks.
Back on the country roads we go. Sauk County has so many beautiful and sacred landscapes. We decided to stop at one. We visited a beautiful effigy mound called Man Mound. It's called Man Mound because it's in the shape of a man. Here I am at 3/5 of Man Mound. Wait, 3/5? Does that say the rest of Man Mound? Di, where are you? 1/5 of Man Mound, you say? Walking up another road to see what this whole situation is all about. What are these green lines? Oh no! Why? There's good news and bad news here. Bad news, there sure is something truly horrifying about all those cars driving over the legs of Man Mound. Good news, this time Di and Christina are stuck on the road and I'm at the car. It was time to take Di back to the rural Walmart parking lot and say goodbye.
I'm laughing. Okay.
We had a great day meeting her. Thanks, Di. But why were we even scanning the countryside for anything out of place, concerning, or suspicious? Because we're Unearthed Secrets, and we're part of the True Crime Web team.
Yeah, so that should be uploaded now, but just as a video. So yeah, so I wanted to make that video because I didn't make a lot of videos for a little while, and wanted to give a little update first on some of the big things like Christina and her back, and she in the chat described that a little bit. I didn't really want to talk over my video too much. I wanted to respond to stuff, but I didn't. If somebody wanted to hear something, I didn't want to talk over the video. And since I get stuff in a little bit delayed, I just wasn't sure if things were going to be relevant by the time I saw it. So sorry. I apologize for not talking too much during that, but yeah, so I just wanted to make a video, also just showing, because we went out and we wanted to meet Di, and she's great, and I wanted to document it, but since we were going to meet Di, and we were thinking about maybe magnet fishing, but we weren't sure, if we were going to document it, we wanted to go out and try to help. And so, and we've been following the James Yoblonski case, and that was a decent drive for all of us. So, I wanted to go up and look around the area and get to know that case more. So we decided that since we wanted to meet up and hang out, maybe magnet fish, maybe do something else. We decided that we might as well meet up somewhere and also work on, trying to help out the James Yoblonski case. And so, like, it looks like we're goofing around and stuff, but I mean, there's a lot of the day that's taken out, and I just want to make a video. So that's why, like, I separated. I didn't want to put James's story in that video because I knew that the beginning part where I just explained what Christina and I have been up to would be silly, and so putting a serious, like, second half onto that video with James's story and us being out there would have been weird. And so I just decided that I'd highlight just some of the fun stuff driving around that we did with Di, and then I would make a separate video about James with, like, the respect that situation deserves. And getting to this video after a half hour. So this is what should have been at the beginning of this one. And like I said, I apologize for all the, how poorly the other live went. I really thought that there'd be at least an obvious button I would press to start the video somewhere, anywhere. Give me a button to hit, yes, start my video. I could have seen the analytics for it, and I also could have edited it, but I don't know how I would have just played it for you guys. So we might never do that again. Just, even if I figure out how to do it, I still might not ever do it again, just out of principle. Nothing about YouTube is obvious. I know. I still don't know how to, Chris is going to show me how to pop up comments onto my live streams, so when I respond to somebody, like, I have the person's comment in the bottom. Apparently that's not obvious how you do that, and I totally believe it's not obvious. And then he started telling me all of the things I have to do, like you have to download a plugin and all this other stuff, and I'm, like, literally my brain just glazed over while he was, like, just giving me, like, a really quick rundown of how it works. And so eventually we'll be doing that, but so I missed a lot of the chat. Like, I'm staring at it, but I still can't get over what happened earlier. And, like, my brain is just, like, a lot of things happened. And also, I don't know if somebody that we're going to be working with from Florida, Steve and I just talked with, they might have been in the chat, or in the last one where it went really horribly. And so if Jessica's still here, everything else in my life goes really well. So if you work with me, and I do field work for the stuff that you're going to help us with, it will not go this poorly. It won't be a dumpster fire, but I kind of had a feeling that premiere video was going to be a dumpster fire. I went into it kind of knowing that. Oh my, like, the live chat does lag a lot, but if I end up opening up YouTube, it's going to be too many things on the screen, and I'm going to get confused. And so I'm just doing this through StreamYard, or Streamlabs, or what, I don't know. I'm doing it through something. I downloaded something from some suspicious website. Alright, so my picture is over James's stuff, but we're going to go right into James's stuff. We're going to start, so perimeter starts now. So we have to be serious. Oh, did you mention something earlier, Southern Gal True Crime? I just saw that. Yeah, I mean, and if you have any other, like, serious stuff, when you're inside the perimeter for like the first half of my live shows of the Perimeter series when we're inside. If you've never done one of these before, it's just the time when we're serious and I don't giggle about silly things, because I have to actually segment my life like that. So you'll catch me up later. Excellent. Do I put the electrodes in the ground to search? Like my ERI electrodes, when I am doing a actual survey, yeah, they go about half an inch or half a foot to a foot in the ground when I lay out a line. But I don't know if that was the question or answer you were looking for. And I appreciate all of you guys, and if I sound, if I don't know, I'm tired. So if it sounds like I'm not trying with an answer, I am, I swear. So, if you want to ask a little bit more about that question, Miss Siren, I will definitely respond. Oh, yes. So, visual scanning, yeah. So, so I've actually had a lot of discussions with Steve on how to look for, people who are buried, like, just visually. One of the things that, I'm really interested in, and I'm sure that the University of Tennessee, I don't think it's Tennessee University of Tennessee, the one that has the big body farm underneath the stadium, or yeah, I think that's where it is. They do a lot of research at that university about decomposition and other forensic stuff to do with the human body, and they're also looking into, I believe, the plants and stuff that grow and how plants are affected by human decomposition. And that's one of the things that I'm interested in, because in cemeteries I noticed that there's a lot of clover and other things right where bodies are buried, and just like other not like, if there is grass, it's like a different type of grass, and I don't know what some of these plants are called, but I know by view like what some of these different plants, not necessarily just because of the decomposition, but also because of the disturbed earth, and like so it's just not as compacted as much, so a different type of weed might thrive in it, and so that's interesting to me. So like visually, like the plants are really interesting to me, and like the undulations in the ground, like what would be a natural like little depression in the ground by looking at the landscape, or what would be an unnatural depression in the ground by looking at the landscape. So that's a train. Thought it was the furnace kicking in. Wait, can you guys hear the train here? Because last night we had something fly over that was really, really loud too. Okay, I'm seeing, hi Gail, and this hi everybody, like Southern Gal True Crime, and Di, and Christina, and Anna, and Olivia too, and, I know there are other people that showed up and talked, and I appreciate that, but, okay, I just totally forgot. Yeah, Christina is my sister, and Di is a friend, and that's crazy that you guys can hear that. It is kind of loud here. I'm just a couple blocks from the train that goes into Chicago, because I'm in the northern suburb. I do hear planes, and I know that we have a lot of private planes that go over to Midway at some point. No, not Midway. There is a private jets flying to something up here. I don't know if it's Waukegan or something like that. I don't know. And we do have stuff from O'Hare go over us too. But that's not really bad tonight. Our train sounds really crazy sometimes, and especially in the winter when there's not a lot of vegetation on the trees and stuff, you get it really loud. And if the wind's blowing a certain way, like, it's just silly sometimes, but I didn't know that was going to happen until we moved here. If I would have known I was going to do YouTube, I still would have moved to this house. This house is great, but I don't know. I would have tried to figure out something else. But I don't know. I started a lot of answers to a lot of questions, and I feel like I forgot what I was talking about. I do that a lot. If you guys ever ask a question, I start to answer it, and then I trail off into a whole bunch of other stuff, just bring me back. I will not be offended. Or stop me. Just tell me, just be like, Carolyn, stop, get back to what we were talking about. And I don't care. I have passenger trains near me, yes. I think we also get freight trains. Yeah. So, so inside the perimeter. So I'm gonna put my serious cap on. So the reason we were down, or up in, there we go. The reason we were up in, the Devil's Lake area was, like, we chose that area to look around and get out of the car. Like, we wanted to get to know each other. In that video on that day, I wanted to hang out, and we wanted to do it for a good reason. So we went and we hung out in the area that they were searching for James. Just as we were walking around, talking and driving around, we could also look to see if we saw anything weird. Because you never know. But there's a lot of places too that we didn't go to because I knew there would have been, like, ever since the summer, a ton of people, like Devil's Lake itself. And so that's why we chose the places that we went. I didn't click on the right thing. Yeah. So James has been missing since June 12th of 2023, so this year. And he's missing from Reedsburg, Wisconsin, but that's not the last place that they have evidence of him being. And so here, it's really hard, actually. This is a very frustrating case because I don't think it's being taken as seriously as it should be. I couldn't even find a missing poster online right now that wasn't just a picture of a flyer. So this is the best I could do. This was from one of the news outlets that I should really have given credit to them for that. And now I can't remember who they were. Amazing that you view the landscape in a different way than I do. I think everybody's different experiences with, like, their jobs and just, like, what they did when they were a kid growing up and, like, all that. Everybody just looks at the world in different ways, and so getting different people together to, like, I wouldn't notice some things that somebody else would notice. I mean, everybody has their own experiences that make them observe things differently, and so it's neat to go out and walk around with people and see what they notice as opposed to, like, what hits you first when you, like, look at a landscape. So I guess about the time, like, so if you don't know that squiggly mark by 10:30, it means about. Some people need a refresher on what that means. So about 10:30 p.m. Is when he was last seen, and he was wearing red shoes, blue jeans, an unknown shirt, and an unknown baseball cap. Yes, I also think all missing people should be taken seriously, especially children. If somebody, like, if there's a reason that somebody is concerned for somebody's well-being because they can't find them, that should always be taken seriously. There's a reason why somebody thinks it's out of character for somebody to be missing. I think that should always be taken seriously. James's dad actually mortgaged his house, or he said he was going to mortgage his house to put up a $10,000 reward for information to get James home. And so since this $10,000 reward seems to be up, it appears that his dad's taken out a mortgage on his home to put forth $10,000 for a reward for information. And so they also, in many places, have Bill Yoblonski, James' dad. They have his own personal cell phone number and email address, and like, so he'll take information too. And I don't have like an official video on James yet, because I was going to put one right after that funny one, but I'll kind of show you guys that the information in James's case has been changing a lot really quickly and recently. And I'm not a true crime person originally. Like, that's just happened in the last like couple months, really, because like I started working with Steve as a geophysicist, as doing ground stuff, and like if somebody needed me to look for a body, I have equipment to do it, and I'll do it. And I've done a lot of cemeteries and stuff. But if somebody wanted me to look for a pile of gold in the ground, like, that would also be something I could do and would do. I found a lot of old cisterns, and I've done a lot of sinkholes, and so originally I wasn't true crime. And so as I'm talking to you guys about James's case, I don't know, because I don't, like, I'd love to do a video on this, but as soon as I put the video out, the information's going to change, and I just don't do true crime. I just don't know how to do it yet, like, so well, to be able to handle the changing information and know how to present it to you guys. And so that's why I figured this would be better as an inside the perimeter kind of thing than an actual video right now, because as soon as I put it up, the information is going to change. And I'll explain that in a second. So Reedsburg, Wisconsin is, if you look at the mitten of Wisconsin, it's kind of in the palm. It's just north of Madison. I need to click on, okay. And so they mentioned Devil's Lake a lot, and trust in Steve if nothing else, but never tell him I said that. What did you say? I missed it. We should do a video with a rundown of Carolyn's skills. Oh, yeah, we should totally do that. There's a reason Steve wants to work with her. Yeah, I'm totally, it's not totally because I'm blackmailing him or anything like that. I have no dirt on Steve at all. Oh, actually, when driving back from the last place, I actually learned a lot of things about Steve. So I kind of do have dirt on Steve, but I'll let Steve share those things with you. So they mentioned Devil's Lake a lot with James Yoblonski. Devil's Lake State Park is actually it's kind of more in just like this smaller area. There's other like state recreational areas and state parks around, but Devil's Lake is the most popular like state park in the state, really. And so when you say something's happened at Devil's Lake, everybody knows what you're talking about. And so that's why Devil's Lake is mentioned a lot in this, even though it's kind of a very small area. Like this entire area around here, if you say up by Devil's Lake, everybody's going to know in Wisconsin what you're talking about. And so he's from Reedsburg, which I left. I have my monitor in the wrong. Hold on, this is my arm. There we go. Couldn't see the corner there. Down here is 5 miles. Yeah. Out there you have Hell's Canyon and 7 Devil's Mountains. How did Devil's Lake get its name? I don't know. But it actually is, there's a lot of Native American things around there, and so I don't know how, what the old lore behind the Devil's Lake area is for like people who have inhabited the area for a long time, but it's like an important area, and it's a very unique geological feature. It's actually the Baraboo syncline, and it's gone through lots of different geological periods, and also was impacted significantly by the last glaciation. And so this is just a very unique area, and that also kind of plays into why a kid would probably be, if he wanted to go out into the woods, definitely the Devil's Lake State area, especially that side of Highway 12. The geology that is in that specific location in our state is just wild. There's a Baraboo quartzite. You can get really expensive counters and stuff like that made out of this stuff. Like it's a really purple quartzite. It's like a deep purple. It's really beautiful, and it's just a completely different landscape right in this tiny little area because of these like old volcanic plumes and stuff that like from like a billion years ago. Oh, we actually have, speaking of, it's named after a misinterpretation of the Ho-Chunk name for the lake. The Ho-Chunk name for the lake is not going to be pronounced by me on the internet. Christina also knows the history of the Ho-Chunk Nation, and someday I will let her tell you that, because I find that interesting. They did a great live a while back concerning Dior and with the Mob Crew and Chris. Yeah, the Dior case. That's like whenever you have little kids or teenagers like this. I mean, it's, well, I guess not teenagers like this. James is 5'11". Like, he seems to be a big kid, but when you have smaller kids, it can be so hard to figure out how to search for them. But I got distracted. Geology of Devil's Lake. I can understand why somebody would want to go there. So then I just wanted to zoom in. I'm not sure if you guys are following my maps. I wanted to make sure. So in Wisconsin, we're just northwest of Madison. And then if you zoom into that area that had the Google tag on it, this is where we were driving around. We were in Baraboo, and then we drove down and went into this area, and then we went up and around and down. I kind of wanted to check the rivers, but after thinking about it, there's so many. You can lazy river down the Wisconsin River during the summer. Like there are different companies that will drop you off, and you can like take a cooler with you and just lazy river all the way down. And like, so anything along the river, I was thinking like, you're not gonna find anything suspicious except for like some guys drinking a beer on a beach. And like, so if we wanted to look for anything that looked out of place along the river, there wasn't a lot of places to go in, and everywhere you could there was a million people. So yeah, so we were up here, and then we went up and around and down, and we went down here and up through here. And so we didn't really stay around the Devil's Lake area like when we were looking, because there's millions of people that go there. Like they get thousands and thousands of people every summer. It's insane. It gets so busy you can't park. You gotta park along the highways. Like if something was there, it would have been found. So, yeah, just highlighting that. I guess I put red circles. And then zooming in. So, just to zoom in a little bit further there on those red dots. You have where he went missing from. His house is somewhere up in Reedsburg. He ended up somewhere down along Highway 12, west of the Devil's Lake area. Which I've heard it's actually more like the South Bluff, Devil's Nose State Natural Area. But everybody knows Devil's Lake, so you say Devil's Lake, I guess. Oh, there's the lake in Devil's Lake right there. So now we've gone from this view to, now we're going to focus more on that area. And so there are some things we know for sure about James's case, and then there are some things that get a little mixed up depending on which news source you read from, or when you read about it. Newer stuff has some differing information than what I've learned at first about this case, but there are several things we know for sure. That he did end up at the Devil's Lake State area. What's the next? Okay. So they think that maybe he could have been survivalist camping. Like, he could have been really interested in being a survivalist. But I'm going to go into some of the some of the conflicting aspects of that in a minute. So what we do know is that it looked like he was set up to do camping in the Devil's Lake area, because they found the van somewhere along Highway 12, and then just into the woods from where they found the van is where they found a campsite. So we do know that. And I was having such a hard time figuring out where they found this van. And I found this picture from WKOW. They're the ones that had the really good picture of the flyer about him, because I can't get a missing persons poster online as a, like, not picture of a picture. So if I tried to look along this road looks familiar until you try to find it on Google Maps, and then you're like, you can't find it again. So somewhere along Highway 12 in the southern part it's somewhere around here is where everybody stopped, because the power lines are on the northbound side of the road. So it's somewhere around here. And then if you look at the road and the hill, and you know that it's the Bear Boost incline, you got to go up and then down it. The van was probably around here somewhere. And there is a big pull off right over here too. So that makes sense. Like right here or something, there's a big pull off. So that's probably where they found the van. So we know that he ended up by Devil's Lake. It looked like he was camping. They found the van along Highway 12. And we know for sure that I can't figure out exactly where they found that van along Highway 12. And they organized searches. There were official searches done by law enforcement. The FBI didn't get involved right away on this case. They eventually did. I don't know if they were involved in anything like that, but I know the county did searches. And I know his dad organized a search that started at the big parking lot of Badger Army Ammunitions, where we went. This is an old aerial picture. There's not an update because they've been turning it into recreational area, and also they've given back to some of the land that was once Native American land, and so it's just gone through a big transformation this last summer, and this picture is just not updated. But here is where the big parking lot is that James's dad organized the search. So there was searches here, and they searched along the woods here. And I think in the newspaper they described there were searches here, and they searched in the Devil's Lake State Park area. So south of Wisconsin Dells. Yes, and Wisconsin Dells itself is going to come into play in a second. Try pronouncing this other word that I'm not going to try pronouncing online. Yeah. Sorry, Gail. I'm really bad at pronouncing stuff that I know how I should be saying. Only 13. He's only 13, which is why the fact that he took his family's van and drove it around Apparently his dad said he was able to drive this van around the property that he lived, but like he's never driven it onto the streets like that before, he said. But he seemed to really be able to drive this car well at 13. And so just in the last couple of days, I found an interview where they said that they moved southwest in the search because they found a plastic sandwich bag that they thought was his. And I'm not sure what has become of that. If they tested it and they found out that it was his, and so that means that maybe he was moving throughout the area. Maybe he was there. But there's other reasons to think maybe he wasn't moving southwest. Maybe he was never really there. And that's where I'm going to go next, is into, there's been a lot of challenges with trying to get this story right for you guys. Because I don't want to give you guys bad information. Because my point of existing on YouTube right now is to only be helpful and only be useful and not provide you guys with BS because I just can't figure out an answer. And so there's been a lot of detail challenges. We can give a general timeline with some details about what was going on with James, but I'm a little confused about some of the details of this timeline with James. And I'm going to say a lot of things that are going to kind of sound like I'm suspicious of the dad. I don't know what happened. And so I'm not any more suspicious of the dad than anybody else that could have encountered James, or maybe it was just James himself. So I'm not saying that I think it's the dad because I don't know what is going on. But I'm going to say a lot of things that make it sound like I think it's the dad. And that's just not. That's not the case right now. So detail challenges, the big main one for me right now is the timeline. Females missing usually get more attention. I think this case in particular, I think this case got a little bit less attention because there are a lot of kids, especially in Wisconsin, that want to go out and give off-grid survival a try, and boys will be boys, and I just don't think, because they thought the kid was just messing around, I think that's why it wasn't taken seriously at first. And then as soon as everybody's starting to take it seriously, now we got nothing to go on because it's been how long? He's barely a teen. For the first month or so, the assumption by authorities was that he was living off the grid in the state park, and still the searching stopped. It was really weird. Yeah, and I'm going to kind of get into that in a second. Your back says you were a lot more invincible at 13. Young people that age, they think are invincible. I definitely was less able to, I did gymnastics and stuff when I was a kid, and man, I fell really hard a lot and now that I look back on that, I'm just if I did that today, I would be Christina in the hospital, little kids, but I didn't realize that when I was a kid though. But you're just thinking about, you're not thinking, you don't have as much fear, especially when you're over by in the Baraboo area. How long ago did they start locking their doors? We only started locking our doors when I was a kid because there was a guy going up along the traveling the trains, killing people, and they told people in our community that we should start locking our doors just so we didn't get killed by this guy who was getting off of trains and killing people. And I think that's why we started locking our doors, or at least that's how I remember it. And so when did everybody in Baraboo start to feel because I know a lot of people still don't lock their doors probably in the middle of Wisconsin, and so James didn't really have, I don't know if he felt invincible, but I know that he probably didn't feel kids that grow up there don't feel fear when they go out at like some kids do in other places because they just live in a different area. Any meth labs or marijuana grows in the area. Am I allowed to say those words? Oh, I can't get demonetized. I don't make money off this. So I will say it all I want. Meth and marijuana. Meth and marijuana. Places where James could have run into the wrong people at the wrong time. I don't know about the drugs stuff, but Highway 12 does have a lot of people on it every time, all times of day. And it eventually merges into being part of the interstate and stuff. Like, when you're in central Wisconsin, you take Highway 12. I took Highway 12 for doing field work all the time, and I remember taking Highway 12 when I was a kid to go lots of places. And so there's just a lot of people going up and down that road all the time. So if you're parking on the side of Highway 12, you could run into the wrong person late at night just on Highway 12 because there's so many people coming to or going from like Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, Iowa. Like, it's just a place where a lot of big roads come together nearby. Oh no, you fell yesterday? I hope you feel better. Oh, you grew up in Dubuque, so the Dells were a fun place. Yeah, the Dell. I think when I was a kid, the Dells were a little bit more fun. Now you have just some bigger groups in the Dells that have taken up a lot of the real estate on the big stretch that's got all the water parks and stuff. But everything just seems better when you're like looking back, and like as a kid, you just like look back like, oh, it's not how it was when I was a kid. And then you get a little tear. Oh no, Lester's here. Look what you found. Well, guess what I never found? I never found my video in my other live stream. So, and I'm going to keep that up, Steve, just so you know. Show the best that the Unearthed Secrets can provide the people that need tech support. Don't ever come to me for tech support. Okay. So, hello, Lester, Marty, Steve, whatever we are tonight. All right. So, the timeline challenges. Meth labs sprout up and then leave or get busted. I know there's a lot of things like that. I mean, there's a lot of problems with drugs everywhere. The only, like, I don't know a lot about the drug stuff. I mean, it's possible. So one of the timeline challenges was how long was he outside his home? So I'm pretty sure that law enforcement had a really, really good idea about how long he was outside his home because there was a security camera outside his home, and that's why they know that he sat outside his home in that van for a while. And at first I heard it was anything from 45 minutes to like an hour and 15 minutes that he was out there sitting outside his home and then drove off. But more recently I heard it was only something like 15 minutes. And so I don't know, there's kind of a difference between 15 minutes and an hour and 15 minutes. Like, so that's I don't know if that's a reporting issue or why people have said different amounts of time that he's been outside the home, because I feel like that should be determined pretty well, though. At least law enforcement would know because of the security camera. And I have seen a quick clip of the security camera footage, and I mean, it's like focused right on the van. There's no question. Which also confuses me because when I first heard about this, the van was supposed to have been across the street. And they thought he was out there so long because he honked, waited till somebody honked their horn, or he honked his horn or something, and then somebody got into the van. Like, I don't know where that story came from, but I heard that initially. Like, he waited like an hour, and then like there was a horn honk, and somebody got into the van. And now I haven't heard anything about that. But the van wasn't across the street. It looks like it's like just in a dirt driveway from the security camera that I saw. So I don't know what's going on with this van, but he was at least in the van for at least 15 minutes. So he sat in the van. The timeline is definitely he sat in the van for just a little bit at least, outside his home. A van that he should not be driving because he is 13 years old. And then I heard he went from his house to Highway 12 by Devil's Lake. But now I've just learned that he actually did not go there first. He actually drove all the way up to his father's golf cart business first. And here we go. Thank you, the Daily Mail. Yes, the Daily Mail. I just found this before I started being unable to do the other live stream. So just a couple hours ago, I just found. So the Dells now becomes a big deal, because his dad's, from what I understand, his dad's golf cart business is somewhere around like just northeast of downtown. I could be wrong about that, but I know in the Dells is his dad's golf cart business, and there's only one golf cart business in the Dells, and it'd be here. And so they said that he drove through the main drag of Wisconsin Dells. Like, is that Highway 12 at that point? I just get in a car usually with somebody that drives through Wisconsin Dells, and I just know there's a main road that you always drive. You drive the main road with all the water parks, and then you take a right, and you got like that big golf cart place, and then I don't know. Then I go wherever everybody else wants to go. Okay. This Snapchat video. What's been said a few times? Yeah, he was driving at 13 years old. This is him driving. Like, I keep forgetting, like the main thing is that, like, he took the family van and parked it. And, like, I mean, I just keep forgetting to emphasize how he was 13 and took this car and apparently drove it well enough to be driving on Highway 12 and parking on the side of Highway 12. And there are a lot of people that learn how to drive at a younger age, but I feel like 13 being confident to drive on Highway 12 is getting to be the extreme of this. And it was the family van, and he doesn't really, his mother's not really in his life as much right now, and so I do know that it is his father's house, and so it'd be, I assume, his dad's van then. Because I think he's the oldest brother, or the oldest kid, but I'm not sure now. I think about that. So there was a Snapchat video that he made, like, just basically talking about how he doesn't understand his thoughts recently. Like, he's having a hard time feeling, like, I think he was just having a hard time processing, like, emotions, and he wasn't really, like, it's basically just, like, he didn't really understand what was going on with himself, and he wanted to get away for a little bit, and that was what the Snapchat video was about. And at first, I heard that he made a Snapchat video in the van on the other side of the road after waiting there for like 45 minutes or an hour, and somebody else came into the van, and it looks like somebody else is holding the phone when he's doing the Snapchat video. It's not like how the angle of where the phone is and like where he is. It looks like somebody else is actually holding the phone than him. And so that's why they think there was another person in the van at this point. And so I initially heard it was when he was sitting in the van outside his house, wherever that van was and forever how long he was doing that. He was definitely sitting in the van outside his house. But the Snapchat video now has changed. And I just heard that the Snapchat was not done at his house. The Snapchat was done while he was driving down the main drag in Wisconsin Dells. Which that's a lot for a 13-year-old to handle, driving down the main drag, even though it's late at night, driving down the main drag in Wisconsin Dells, filming a Snapchat video seems like a lot for one person. Steve started operating tractors at 5. Mom and Dad had major arguments as I couldn't see over the steering wheel. I totally believe that. But I'm really not supposed to believe a lot of what Steve says because apparently Steve lies to me a lot. But I don't know if that is a lie in itself, so just take everything Steve says with a grain of salt. So the Snapchat video now is not at the house. It is downtown as he's driving through the main drag of Wisconsin Dells is what I hear. The drive back from the restaurant to the hotel. Yes, and I was always an option in the car too, and nobody ever asked me to drive anybody. That's fine. So timeline challenges. How long was he outside the house? Now things have changed and he's gone to his dad's golf cart business, and the Snapchat video I guess is now not at the house but somewhere along the main drag of the Dells. Does this all make sense so far? Because it's the main points that aren't changing are simple to follow, but I can't give a lot of detail because there's been a lot of changes to it. So what I know is he is 13, shouldn't be driving the family van. It's probably his dad's van. He's 13, sitting in the van outside, and the security camera at his dad's place picked him up sitting outside in the van for a certain amount of time before he drove off. And there was a Snapchat video at some point where he makes it sound like he wants to leave. He was apparently super busy between the time he left his house and the time he abandoned the family van. That's what it sounds like now. Because he went all the way up to through the Dells and then back through the Dells. And that is so much. I don't even like driving on Highway 12, and I just can't picture a 13-year-old wanting to do that. But it's late at night. But there's still going to be a lot of cars, especially in June. When it starts to get nice out, you're not, even if it's not warm enough yet to do all the water activities, there's still a lot of people staying there to do other activities now that it's nice out, like Devil's Lake and other places. You can still stay there, and they also have indoor water park stuff, and it's just a ton of people that are out and about there. And I just being a 13-year-old, driving around a busy Wisconsin Dells and Baraboo, it just, even late at night, it's just, but you can tell a lot about you by the way you drive. Wait, I'm missing some of the chat. I'm sorry, you guys. Do they still think there may have been someone in the vehicle with him when he recorded the Snapchat? Yes, they do. They think that how the angle of the phone, how that video is angled, it looks like there is a different person, or at least that's what his dad says. I'm not sure if law enforcement has said that, but his dad is sure there must be another person. Okay, and so another detail change is, I wonder if there was a canoe on or in the van. Yeah, he could be by the river. There's, the Wisconsin River is so cool, and that's why I was thinking about checking out the Wisconsin River when we were there, just just walk around, see if we saw anything that could be useful or helpful. But there's just so many people around the Wisconsin River. Like, this is, like, the Baraboo, Wisconsin Dells area of Wisconsin is, like, the place everybody goes. And especially by the time we got there to when he went, like, from when he went missing to the time we got there, like, people are walking around everywhere. It's not, like, a huge wilderness up there. It's, like, the state parks. There are some areas of state parks where people don't really walk, but, I mean, there are thousands of people going through these parks a year. And so, like, if he was in the river, he would have had to get out of the area, or as people would have seen him. But that's why I wanted to go check the river. But then there wasn't really anywhere to put the canoe in, like, or a kayak or something in. And he would have had to drive there to put it in the water and then driven the van back and then walk back to that, which would have, I mean, if the kid wanted to throw people off, I don't know. But I know that if there would have been something like a kayak or a canoe, the dad would have noticed it was missing. It would have been seen on the security camera probably, and so they would know if there was any other thing like a bike or anything like that. They would have that information. Yes, you did used to live on the Wisconsin River. And and the guy you were seeing at the time used to throw his horseshoes into it. The state parks and natural areas near Madison are packed with people. Yep. Almost everywhere. Sure, they're forests, but it's not a crazy it's not a crazy wilderness. It's very it's equivalent to I went down the first time I ever got on skis to ski down in the winter a hill. I don't go skiing a lot. First time I ever did it, I went down the hardest hill at the ski resort I was at in Wisconsin. Like, we just don't have a lot of topography, like crazy topography or crazy anything. Like, outdoors, we're very mellow with our woods and our hills and all of that. And so it's not like he's missing in Alaska. Thank you, and Christina. Oh, are you heading out? Am I missing anybody that's heading out? Is anybody heading out? Because I'd like to say goodbye and thank you to anybody that stopped by. Devil's Head I was at Alpine Valley. I was at the smallest of the small places. Skied Bluffs like you did. Wait, where are you from again? Wait, are you from Dubuque? Who's from Dubuque? I'm enjoying chatting with everybody. I like this group. We'll have to vote if we want anybody else in here later. Because I like this group. And this group only. Everybody else gave up on me. I don't like them. Another detail challenge is this campsite. First of all, I don't even know where the campsite was because I can't figure out where the van was. It's somewhere along Highway 12. At first, I thought when they described it, I thought they were talking about the Badger Army Ammunition's parking lot, like the little, like you could just pull off there and park. But then they said up Highway, like how it was described, it's obviously up Highway 12 a little bit. And so I don't even know where this campsite is. It's somewhere along Highway 12, to the west of Devil's Lake along Highway 12. Did the dog detect him or not? Somebody give me a straight answer. Because currently, if you look it up, the dog did not detect him at all. He was supposed to have gone just into the woods and made a campsite from the van. And stayed there for a little bit. And then the dad thinks somebody honked a horn or something and he came out and got into another vehicle. I'm not sure if they think that there was a person in the van doing a Snapchat video. I'm not sure where this person ended up going. Because I've heard, especially like when the dad describes things, the dad thinks somebody else was doing the Snapchat video, I think. I'm pretty sure. And, but then he's alone at the campsite that he eventually makes, just inside the woods at where the van is. So I don't know where this person that was in the van with him went. And then then I've heard that he like, especially from the dad, he thinks that somebody like honked a horn or something, and that got him to come from the campsite out to this other vehicle. Like, and I don't, but then I don't know what happened to this other person, or if this is supposed to be the same person, and maybe James dropped this person off at a vehicle, but then I don't know where this Snapchat extra person went. So that's a problem I have with the campsite. So was there or was there not another person possibly there? And did the dog detect him or not? Because right now they're saying that he was never detected at the campsite. But I had heard that he was detected between the van and the campsite, but nowhere else around there. Like, he didn't go walking into the woods. Like, the dog never detected him going into the woods. So what I can tell you about the dog is that when they had the dogs go to try to smell him, I all of a sudden can't remember what that's called. When they had the dogs try to track him, that's it. Both stories so far, he is definitely not detected outside that campsite. Whether he was detected between the van and the campsite, I'm not sure right now. But he was never tracked by the dogs outside the campsite. I hear also, yes, Dubuque worked there in high school. Skiing was just pure ice. Forget the Wisconsin ski place we went to. Wonder if partner was a girl. Yeah, I don't know. But let's see. Thinking about Diora, the murders in Indiana, the girls in all around water and woods. There's many more. Yeah, this one's just so weird. And those are just so. Diora's case. I think I know a little bit more about Diora's case than I'm supposed to know. That I can't say. But they're all just crazy stories about, like, yeah. I wish kids didn't get lost in woods. I wish kids didn't get lost. Gail, you gotta go get some tea. Okay. Yeah, not detected. So he was not detected for sure outside the campsite, which gets me confused where they said that they think they found a sandwich bag by him, and that's why they think he went southwest, because apparently the dog didn't track him, but somebody found a sandwich. I don't know if the sandwich bag, though, is his or not. And so the dad's phone was located at the campsite. He took his dad's phone. The Snapchat was done on his dad's phone. You'll hear in some reports that his phone was located at the campsite. It's not his phone. It's his dad's phone. And his dad also has not gotten the phone back because it's evidence. And the dad says, like, he needs it back for work and stuff like that, but he understands he can't get the phone back. It is definitely his dad's phone. So so I'm a little confused because I'm pretty sure he has his own phone. But now I don't understand if he does or not. But he was using his dad's phone, and it was his dad's phone at the campsite. So where do they think the dogs hit on him? Either the dogs didn't detect him at all, or they just got him between the van and the campsite that he created just inside the woods from the van. So I don't know how far he walked into the woods from the van, but the dogs may have detected him there, or they may not have detected him at all. I don't know. I've seen both. We know if it was a tracking or trailing dog. I don't know. All I've heard is the dogs. That's the only words I've heard. Steve, you gotta call the Sauk County Sheriff's Office and get me some better information. You're pretty sure it wasn't someone's Yorkie. But you're not sure about the qualifications. Yorkie could be qualified for that. It wasn't Dai's dogs either, probably. So let's just mark that one down. So it was the dad's phone. And I've just learned that there is a list. I gotta figure out. There is one place online, but I have to get a subscription to see this article again, and I didn't know that. So I gotta get on a different device and take screenshots of this one article before I need to subscribe to the news agency to get this information. But I do know now, because of them, that there were clothes that were found at the campsite, but they were not worn a lot. These were not like his favorite shirts or something. Like, this was like random clothes like that. It looked like he just picked up because he needed to like put some clothes down to show that he had been there. Like, it was more like, I guess the clothes, like, it's weird that those were the clothes that he left at the campsite, I guess, is what they're saying. And so I don't know, I don't understand what was left. Like, they had the clothes at the campsite and the dad's phone at the campsite, and I don't know, he may or may not have even been at the campsite. It's starting to kind of look like he was never at the campsite, and somebody threw down some clothes just hoping that people would believe he was there. And then, no comment then on the dad's phone being there, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, clothes for show. Oh, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Okay. Other detail challenges. There's a lot of electronic evidence here, actually. So for what we're not getting in the physical evidence that we're hearing about in the news, there's a lot of electronic evidence that this whole situation is probably completely different behind the scenes. Like, we probably wouldn't even be able to guess what is actually happening right now. Just knowing like what is like hidden from the public in some cases, in some actual cases, like, I feel like the electronic evidence that they have right now is really creating a completely different story that we don't know about. And where these staged campsites, I don't know if they don't know if the campsite is staged or not. Like, especially if the dog never like detected him, whichever dog type, whatever qualifications they had. But I mean, would the dog have, if they were like clothes that he loved and used all the time, would the dogs have detected him there then? Because apparently they weren't clothes that he ever used. 2023 case, and so glad you guys are bringing eyeballs to this case. Is there a flyer? There is, there are no online flyers that I could find. There are only pictures of physical flyers, like the actual, like his missing poster, the actual physical poster has a picture taken of it, and that's what's online so far. Do you know if he had a history of disappearing and coming back? He's never, from what I can tell, he's never done anything like this. And so getting into that disappearing and coming back kind of thing, he may not have had a history of it, but with the electronic evidence, they found out he did search at least places inside Wisconsin that they thought he might travel to, but they said that they've looked in these places. They didn't tell anybody where these places are, but there are places in Wisconsin that he had searched about traveling to, and they looked there, and he was not there. Oh, there is a link to the flyer, because I can only find pictures of it, like pictures of the physical flyer. Was DNA or footprints found in the van? Oh, footprint or prints found in the van, like fingerprints and stuff. I forgot about fingerprints. I do bring up the DNA in a second, Olivia. You're ahead of me. So I will answer that. That, I mean, we don't know about any of the DNA or fingerprints or anything like that right now. They're keeping all of that to us, but there's a possibility of evidence like that, I think, in this case. So they think that, at least his dad thinks he met somebody on the internet. So he searched for places inside Wisconsin. They said he searched for how to travel outside the state of Wisconsin. I don't know what that means. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand what it means for somebody to search for how to travel outside of Wisconsin. Like, I don't know what that phrase means, because you just get in a car and you just go. So, like, do they mean, like, taking a plane? Like, did he look for train routes? Like, is that what they mean by he searched for places? Like, or he searched on how to travel outside of Wisconsin. So the thing is, he searched how to travel outside of Wisconsin. I don't know what that means. And does that mean he searched actual places, like locations outside of Wisconsin? Like, he searched actual places in Wisconsin? Or did he just search on how, in general, how to, like, travel outside the state of Wisconsin? And in that case, I don't know what that means. Yeah, that's what I showed earlier. Seems info sparse, yeah. James could have staged a campsite. Steve, what do you think? Why was he driving at age 13? I mean, around like the rural communities and stuff like that, when you have a property that's got a little bit of space in Wisconsin, kids do drive at a younger age sometimes, but only around the property. The fact that he can like comfortably drive on Highway 12 at 13 is kind of weird to me. Yeah, and it's had a little coverage, and that is bizarre. And have I missed anything else in the chat? If you have a question and I missed and you didn't get an answer from Christina or anybody, just go ahead and put it up again. Because I don't want to miss any questions. Because I'm here for helpful information. And also to show you guys fantastic dumpster fires of video premieres. So I know he did search specific locations in Wisconsin to travel, and they searched those places, he's not there. And I do know that electronically he searched for how to travel outside the state of Wisconsin. I do not know what that means, and I don't know if those are specific locations or just in general how to do it. Oh my god, the train. The train is so loud. Now I notice the train every time it goes by. If he created the campsite, he was there. I mean, that makes sense. His father also believes he's out west in Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, somewhere like that. I don't know if this is also something that the law enforcement believes, that he is out west in Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, something like that. I don't know if that was... So the electronic devices that were searched were... he had a device that was assigned to him from his school, so probably a tablet, or I don't know if they assigned laptops. And then he also had, I think... I don't think it was just his dad's phone. I think he also had a tablet or something like that at home. So he had... there's one device at home and one device from the school that they're using to get a lot of information from. And, but I don't know, so, okay, I'm gonna say something, and, so, I don't know, so the problem with I don't know if if law enforcement believes he's out west or not, how seriously are we supposed to be taking this out west thing? Because he could have searched on a device specifically how to travel out of the state of Wisconsin to go to like Idaho, Montana, or something like that. He could have actually looked how to do that. But all I have seen now for actual specifics on why they think he's out west is that it is because his dad talked to psychics, and the psychics say he is out west in one of those states. And I don't know if law enforcement actually has proof that they think he could be out there with somebody who has taken him out there or is helping him be out there. The only thing that I've heard is that psychics told his dad that he is out there. And I would very much like to know from law enforcement if they do believe that he is out there in one of those states from actual evidence, electronically or otherwise. Do they believe he's out there? Like, or is it just the people that told his dad that? Like, psychic or not, like, whether you believe in that or not, his dad was told by somebody that, like, who happens to be a psychic, that he is out there. And apparently it's been more than one, and that's why his dad believes he's out there. But I want to know if law enforcement actually truly believes that also, for any reason. And, yeah. I didn't know how to bring up the psychic thing. Because, like, I don't want to, like, poo-poo on that. Because, I mean, I don't know. I've heard some crazy stories about how that stuff actually works, and then I heard some crazy stories about how that was devastatingly wrong to a family. But, what would he be driving? Did father release any info about relatives out west, Mom? Oh, relatives out west. I didn't even think about that. That's a good question. The mom is not in his life a lot, and they apparently talk to her, but it's very odd how they mention the mom. I don't know if she's out west, but they mention the mom not being a big part of their life and that they have talked to her, but they didn't say how they worded it. How they worded it, I've never heard them say that they've ruled her out of anything either, so that's weird to me. But they also haven't told me a lot about anything. So, and by they, I mean, I can understand why law enforcement wouldn't probably be telling a lot if there was something that needed to be kept from people. I mean, we just don't know what they're telling us and what they're not. I don't know. The reporters have just confused me so much in the different news sources. Oh, the gun. Okay, I almost forgot about the gun. Oh my god, I can't believe I almost forgot to mention the gun. Thank you, Christina. Holy moly. One of his father's guns is missing. And the father doesn't know how the gun got out of the locked gun cabinet. He says he doesn't know how James got the gun, but there was a gun missing. But it was locked in the cabinet. He doesn't know how he got in there, and it's missing. And, I don't know. The father's gun missing with the like, we don't know what's happening right now, so I'm not gonna. The story's probably completely different than what information we're actually getting, so I don't want anybody to think that anybody specific in his life has done anything, because I think there's also a lot of reasons to believe that. Like, for all the things that you hear that sound kind of suspicious towards his dad, there's a lot of things that make it sound not suspicious towards his dad. Like, I mean, his dad's been cooperating a lot. Like, he's been doing a lot of interviews. He was even on Patrol Live, which I missed tonight for this. He even did, like, a live interview thing on Patrol Live about James. This is, like, the first time I've ever, like, seen anything about James outside of, like, the Wisconsin media. Like, so his dad's been, like, really proactive, trying to do searches and stuff. So that's all, like, but then it's stuff like his dad's phone was at the, like, did he always have his dad's phone all the time and stuff? And that's not weird that he had his dad's phone that night. And, I mean, his dad's gun missing is, concerning, but I just don't know. There could be a lot of reasons for all these things. Yeah, he may have taken his father's handgun. The dad said he doesn't know how he got into the gun cabinet, but I mean, the kid could have figured it out. He's 13. The feds were eventually brought in. Because I know this because they gave his dad a polygraph test, and the dad passed. And if Steve is still in the chat, he will know how, I mean, his dad passed the polygraph test. So I know the feds came in because they gave him one and he passed it. So I don't know how to put that otherwise. Olivia, thank you, ladies. Very informative. I apologize for my confusion during the first video. Wishing you all a very Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Okay, so there are some positive things here. There is a lot of electronic evidence. We probably aren't getting a lot of information, but hopefully they have a better handle on what's going on because of this electronic evidence. And so hopefully this case isn't as standstill and dire as we think. You have to drive to our parents tomorrow, so you may have to head out for sleep. Oh, just a little bit longer. You're helping me out. And so I'm thinking, like, if they say that somebody else was doing the Snapchat video, the person held the phone, and so if there was the phone left at the campsite, there might be DNA on that phone, or like other physical evidence like those clothes. Like anything could have the DNA of somebody else, or the van. In the van there could be DNA or fingerprints. And so there's a ton of places that we can get more answers from the physical evidence. Like, was there somebody else in the van that wasn't, like, is there DNA from somebody in the van that wasn't a family member that should never have been in the van, like, or like fingerprints, or and then there's also lots of possible camera footage, especially if we went through Wisconsin Dells. There's camera footage. There's gonna be camera footage on all the the stores downtown. I mean, I don't know cameras at intersections exactly how that works, but like there would definitely be at least camera footage from businesses down right where the Badger Army Ammunition's parking lot is that they held that search at. If for some reason you end up going down there and turning around or whatever, like you would see there's a gas station right across the street from that, so maybe they have camera footage. There'd be probably up to Highway 12 and all that. There's like houses, so you might get camera footage from there. Even people that like just hanging out might have taken pictures or had video of just themselves hanging out downtown and got like his van in the background, and then we could be able to tell, like, just from all this different video and photo evidence, is there somebody else in the van with him, and specifically the timeline, and so that there's a lot there. And then also another positive thing is the hunters during hunting season did not find him, and so he could still be out there just hanging out, just thinking about how to come back. Like, should I come home now? Dad will be mad at me. Hopefully that's it. Hopefully he's just like, maybe I'll wait a little bit because Dad would be mad at me because everybody made such a fuss. Like, hopefully that's just it, because they didn't find him yet. So, what year was this? This was in June of this year, in 2023. This is very new. This should be in the news. Oh yes, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to anybody that might need to head out because it's getting late. And thank you for being here if anybody's heading out. And so that's what I have about James so far. It's just a whole lot of questions. And so I hope a lot of things were answered, or I hope a lot of things were discussed from questions that you guys had during this. If there was anything else you guys wanted to ask, let me know. I get a little bit of a lag in the chat, so I can always go back to questions about James, or if you think of one, just like bring it up. When is his birthday? I was gonna look that up and I forgot. I'm sorry. I do know, I think that was June 12th that he went missing of this year. I forgot to look up his birthday. I'm sorry. I feel really bad I didn't look up his birthday. So I don't know if he's 13 still. He might be 14. I don't know. So, Merry Christmas, Copper Horse. So David Schwochert, there is movement in David's case, but there is delay because the investigator in his case is sick and had to have surgery, and it's a big deal illness, and so there might be some more delay in David's case, but hopefully not, because the lieutenant that's also in charge of his case is very proactive also. So there are things being done in David's case, and there is hope that the person that killed David will be brought to justice. Did they release pics of the van? I think my sister's around the area then camping. Yeah, I can't find a picture of the van. And I really tried for you guys. And there is a security camera video out there that I'll have to find. I think some news agencies have like just a little clip of it, and that has the van. I can't even give you a description of it, though. If they were in that area around that time, you could always contact the Sauk County Sheriff to get when and where they're specifically looking for like information from like what area at what time, because like yeah, if you were around that area and you think you might be helpful, like they'll definitely tell you like what times and places. Also, Bill Yoblonski, he's on Facebook. You could try contacting him through there because he's been talking, like that's what his Facebook is all about right now. Also, he's put his personal cell phone number and email address online, and I forgot to put that in this, but I can always put a community post about how you can get a hold of James's dad too if you want to talk to him about all that. Oh, it was your birthday, Copper Horse? Did I know that? Happy birthday. Yeah, David has not been forgotten for sure. There just might be I was gonna be calling them actually because they were also wanted possibly my help on a different case in Racine County, so I was gonna be talking to them about that and also just asking for an update on David's case, especially since it's going to be coming up on the anniversary of when he was murdered. Like it's 51 years, so coming up, and so I was just gonna call and ask like, hey, how's it going? Like, just don't forget, like, because I do know what the next steps are. I'm not allowed to tell anybody them, but like I just want to make sure people are still moving on these next steps with this case because this could be solved. Well, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, we'll look for pics for sis. Yeah, I hope, like, I hope that your sister can can help them out. That'd be great. So yeah. Good night, Gail. Merry Christmas. So yeah, David was 16. August 2nd, 1956 is when he was born. January 1st, 1973 is when he was murdered. And I know we've gone through his case, so I'm just gonna skip through a little bit and just show you guys the new thing that I have about that. Here's a picture with his parents and his soapbox derby car. I think that's what that's called. There is with his siblings. He's the oldest boy. And then that's Doug. He's got a really great auto place in town. That's my connection to the family. Doug is awesome. And so that's Doug and that's David. Those are his sisters. That's his shy sister. Oop, am I going the wrong way? There we go. No, I'm not. So yeah, he's 16 years old. He was a junior at Burlington High School. And so Burlington is in the southeastern portion of Wisconsin. And if you zoom into Burlington down there, we're a town now of a little bit over 10,000 people. Much, much smaller back then. So this is all Burlington. This is like the old part of Burlington around the Fox River. And then if you zoom in a little bit more, this is where the Clark station was that he was working at, where he got kidnapped from. This was not here at that time. The Veterans Terrace wasn't here. And there was Adrian's Custard. And so there was the Clark station in here. So this little road here didn't exist at that time. It was like just a regular T intersection kind of thing. And so imagine filling in the block kind of here. And then you would turn into, I think my dad said you turn in from here. I'm not sure if you could turn in from there. You could turn in here, and then the Clark station was here, and the pumps were on this side. So the pumps were along the road area. The building was here, and then there was a cleaning, dry cleaning service over here, or clothes cleaning service right here. And if you look at this building here, with like in this parking lot, there's like that building right there. Apparently, this part of the building is how, like, if you look at the size of that, that's how big the Clark station was. And then if you look at, the Clark station was the complete size of this building, and then the cleaning service was that size. And so there's like a littler building over here, and the Clark station here. And so the Clark station was that size, cleaning service about that size right there. And then the pumps were on that side. And you could come in, like the road, or the property went all the way up to the road here. And you come in from the highway. And so my dad drove me around at night to take some video. So actually, my dad parked his car right here. And so I'm standing here. And so we're going to scan. This is how, like, now it's still dark, but picture, like, not having this building here or any of this parking lot or anything. It's just like an old park right here. And, like, there's not, the charcoal grill isn't over here as a restaurant. Like, it's going to be way darker, but to give you an idea of the area that he was kidnapped from. So the Veterans Terrace is not there. None of that's there. That's just lawn. That's just the lawn. Then you got the river up here with the bridge. And this road isn't here at the time. And so the Clark station is like right there by the sign. Where the sign is now is kind of where he was probably kidnapped from. And the frozen custard place, Adrian's Frozen Custard, was already there. And my filming is really bad, and I apologize for that. And so, just wanted to focus on the, like, so people would turn in, like, this road's not here, it's just a straight road. They turn in here to the gas station that's here, and the pumps are over here. So somewhere around this bright tree is probably where he's kidnapped from. And so we're looking at this area down here. during that video. And he was driven up the highway to where he was murdered and his body was found. Everybody says his body was found where the Taco Bell sits today, and that's not true. And you'll see that in the newspapers and stuff. He was actually found, they say, the person that I talked to says the service road, or the investigator I talked to said the service road by Aldi and by the river. And so I don't, like, the service road by all, like, I mean, this is an old picture. There is a kind of a road thing here now, and by the river on the Aldi's property. So somewhere, like, so it gotta be around here is where they found him. Because I don't think it's this road. I think it's around here somewhere by the river. It's the main drag, busy. Yeah, I mean, it was after midnight on like New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, so it was really early New Year's Day. They have a pretty good timeline. I forgot to put that in here. They do have it like a cop stopped in and checked on him at a certain point. Or like, no wait, he had another person working with him who left at a certain time, and so then it was just him alone. And then a cop came to check in on him, and he wasn't there. And so somewhere between when the guy left work and it became only David to when the cop came by, somewhere in there. And that's actually a smaller period of time, but I just can't remember now. But I can put that in a future video. It scares you that I could be Gacy. I don't want to say too much, but I can tell you that Gacy is ruled out of this for sure. Yes, it's not. I can tell you that it's not Gacy for sure. Was there any evidence of trying to conceal him, or was he just left out in the open? No, they didn't try to conceal him at all. I'll explain how he was found in a second after I show you, like, because I gotta go through this slide first, and then I'll explain more of that evidence. So this is standing out there at that location at night, and just picture, like, Aldi isn't there. The kidney dialysis place that looks like an old bank is not there. Walmart's not there. Taco Bell's not there. All you're seeing, so the only lights that exist at that point, like, not even probably the street lights really, the cars driving on Highway 36 on Milwaukee Avenue, that would be, like, really the only thing that's right out at that specific spot at that point. I was going to drive up to here and take the video, but my dad is such a sweetheart, and there were, like, there was still, like, it was late at night, but there was still, like, a couple, like, older ladies, like, that were just walking into the store and walking out of the store, and my dad didn't want to scare them by, like, pulling up in a weird spot in the parking lot and getting out with a camera. And so my dad's like, we could just come back tomorrow. I don't want to scare them. And so we decided that we would go to the place that looked like an abandoned bank and do it there instead. So my dad and I are actually standing up here because my dad didn't want to scare the people in the Aldi parking lot by doing a video there. Good night, Christina. You need to help Mom make a cheesecake? Okay, yeah, go to sleep if you're doing that. So the video I'm taking is scanning. There's the highway, so that would really be the only thing at that point that's there at this time. This is not there. This is all dark. It's just an all dark field of, like, thick grasses and, like, shrubby trees and stuff, like what you would find It wasn't like a foresty area. It was just like a fieldy kind of wilder like area next to a river, and it would have been so dark. And so getting back to finding him, he wasn't hidden, and they found physical evidence that I don't want to accidentally say something I'm not supposed to. So there was physical evidence there at the scene. He wasn't assaulted in any other way except being shot twice, I think. There was something missing, but I don't know if I'm supposed to say what it was, but it doesn't seem like a trophy thing that was missing. It doesn't seem like that. It just seems like it was just a quick idea to kidnap this kid and kill him. And like, so there was evidence at the scene, but then there was no money stolen from the Clark station. What was stolen was the coin changer that he was wearing on his belt, and his belt, and and in the newspapers you definitely see that his wallet was another item. There was not a bloody towel. That was said there was a bloody towel in a newspaper. It wasn't a bloody towel. It was a napkin. And I'm not going to get into specifics about that either, because I just don't know what I'm supposed to say and what I'm not supposed to say, because I'm going to take they trusted me with a lot of information. But so there was things that were taken, because like it wasn't a robbery from the Clark station, but like the person robbed him of his coin changer. Like it wasn't a lot of money at all, like 60 cents or something. And so the things that were taken from him, so him himself and the evidence that was at that scene down here. And then the other things that were found were somewhere between Burlington and Milwaukee. And I don't want to accidentally, I know exactly where these things were found, and I don't know what's supposed to, like, how much information is supposed to be shared about the location of where these things were found. So I'm going to stay away from that. And I'm not doing any of, like, keeping things from you guys because, like, I'm special and you guys don't get to know. It's like, I really don't want to mess this up. It's been 51 years. And I don't want to say anything I'm not supposed to say. But, yeah, he wasn't hidden at all. It seemed like just a quick thing. And I can tell you that he was totally not hidden at all, because there was a guy in town, in Burlington, who was a scanner listener. He listened to the scanner all the time. And he heard that David was missing, like, right away. Like, once this is going on with the scanner, this guy's already heard about it. And so he goes out to try to look for David because, like, you know, concerned citizen, listening to the scanner, he's going to go help look for David. And he finds David. This guy found David really quick. Like, David was only missing, like, he was missing somewhere around, like, 3:15 in the morning. They found him at 6 or 8 something in the morning. He wasn't missing that long. The guy found David. But the scanner guy, I know we've already been through this with some of it. It was with a couple people who have been in my last perimeter thing. The scanner guy that found David then drove up the highway, and he literally, like, the scanner guy literally found every important piece of evidence somewhere along this highway. He found everything that was missing, like the coin changer, like the belt, like his wallet. This guy found everything, and he found David. This guy is like a better tracking dog than what we saw in the last story. And this guy, we have already talked about if we think he's a suspect. And if anybody wasn't here for our last discussion, I just love, like, this is just the craziest part of the story. Like, you go, well, this guy's gotta have done it, right? He found everything right away. Like, come on. No. He's not a suspect. He's ruled out. He was just a really lucky guy. And he was just a scanner listener that just went out and he searched for David. He searched for the things that were missing, and he found it. And he is definitely ruled out. Definitely ruled out. Not a suspect at all. And, like, I think that guy has passed since then, but I just think that's just crazy. Like, wouldn't it be great for True Crime Web if, like, I had that kind of luck? But, so the physical evidence was sent to the state lab in Madison and sent back to, I'm not sure if it went to Burlington first or if it just always stayed with the Racine County Sheriffs, but the physical evidence that existed back then is still in existence today. And so there's David. He just looks like a kid from Burlington, man. If you were an AI machine and like somebody was like, draw me a picture of a 16-year-old boy from Burlington back in the early 70s, this would be David. It would be David that would pop up. Like, this is like a good kid. And apparently he was a good kid. He had just made, I can't remember what it is. I'll have to look it up again. He just made something for his boss at the gas station. A wood box, and he just made a wood box for, I can't remember what it was. There was something that was useful that the guy that owned the Clark station had just gotten a woodworking gift from David. Like, this was a good kid. And if it wasn't David, like, he took the job because another 16-year-old boy couldn't be there that night. And, like, it would have been the other kid. Like, it just sucks. Like, sucks that it was David. It sucks that it would have been anybody. And so then, I just want to remind everybody, it will be 40 years since Amber was reported missing on December 26th, whether you want to believe you shouldn't believe that she was kidnapped on the 26th. I'll tell you that the cops don't believe she was kidnapped on the 26th. The ones I talked to recently don't. So that's all that I've heard about the cops talking about it at all. So, but so in that video when I showed you the pictures of Larry, like, it was just like some silly pictures of the yard, because like I didn't actually take a lot of pictures of like Larry straight on, besides like underneath the house when Larry and I went under the house in Texas. And so Larry's back there. So I figured I'd share these pictures in a more serious video than the funny thing, because like there's nothing funny about this at all. And so there's some more pictures of Larry looking at stuff that were digging up an area that was suspicious. And yes, justice for Amber. She is such a sweetie. She looks like such a sweetie, and she was such a sweetie. And she just was living with terrible people at the time. That sucks. Yeah, so there's some more Larry at the suspicious area under the house. Some more Larry. You couldn't move in there. It was so hard to just get these pictures. And like, I mean, you're on your stomach with like the insulation coming down. And the pipe that we had to crawl over. So I just wanted to show the pictures of Larry that I just didn't think were appropriate before. And so yeah, and then I just want to say I did spend a large amount of time writing a very, very long, I wrote a 24-page report to give law enforcement to show them that what I think about what we did in May. So I did an initial report that was about the same size, and but this one went into a little bit more detail about only what I did in the yard with my ERI, And I made some points in my report. And we're going to give it to law enforcement. And I don't want to say too much. But, so, the geophysics stuff that I did in the backyard. We are not done yet with Amber. We will never be done with Amber until she is found. And until people go to prison forever. So, she will always be, we'll always be thinking of her until, you know, we get justice for her, and then I'll still always think about her. It was very tight working conditions. Bless you and the whole team for all your hard work. It was hard work, and thank you. I mean, it's bad news. I like being under that house, but like, if somebody tells me there's a 2-year-old that's missing, me thinks she's under the house, it's like, well, I guess I'm gonna go under that house. Like, there might be a 2-year-old under it, and I'm just gonna be like, I'm not going under that house. It's like, there's a 2-year-old. Like, I'm going under the house, or you think there's a 2-year-old under there? Like, so that's what I did with Larry. I went under the house because they said Amber might be there, so I went. So it will be 40 years in a couple days. But hopefully things are moving. There's some other movement. We got a trip that will be coming up, Steve mentioned. And there's another trip that I don't know if I should talk about. So I can't remember. And Christina's not here anymore. She would know if it was appropriate to talk about. Anyway, there's still things we're still trying to do for her. And Christina sent a bunch of information to local news agency or local media people, like the news people. Christina sent a whole bunch of information to try and get them to do a story on the 40-year anniversary, so we'll see if the Dallas news people care. Yeah, anything to find a child. Yeah, I mean, if Larry wanted to go back under the house, like, I'd do it. Like, and I saw what the spiders in the field looked like before I was going under that house. Like, these big, like, the big brown things that are, like, I thought our big brown spiders were big. Like, I mean, our spiders up here are nothing compared to these big Texas brown things. I'm so glad. Under their house it wasn't bug free. It wasn't spider free. But it was not. It was just the bug situation was just not bad. It was absolutely tolerable, except I think I saw snake holes, and I put plastic over them while I was down there, because I didn't want a snake coming out on me. Like, I'm not afraid of snakes. I'm afraid of surprises. I said I'm afraid of jump scares. Like, I'm not afraid of spiders or bugs or things. I'm afraid of the jump scare that they cause. Yeah. I mean, I don't hate spiders. Like, I don't like the jump scare part. I don't like also that you don't know where they're going, because wherever they go next are going there quickly. Like, and I just feel like, I don't know why, I just feel like everything's gonna like jump onto my face. And even if it's like on the floor like 5 feet away, it's gonna end up jumping on my face. And I just don't like that. I don't like the shock of bugs. But I do it again for Larry and Amber. And somebody told me I'd have to go somewhere full of what apparently they have like these little cockroach things, like you're just gonna get outside or whatever. Larry said, like, the one thing Larry didn't like was cockroaches, and he stopped and said there are thousands of cockroaches up here. I don't know what happened with that. I heard there were thousands of cockroaches, and we both paused. Larry and I paused at, like, we're under the house, we're halfway to the back, and we're on, like, our stomachs with, like, the beams right above us, and he's like, don't look up. Or something, and said there, like, he's like, there are okay. I eventually looked up, but not right away. I didn't see any. I saw, like, 1 or 2. But, I mean, apparently we made them scatter. I'm not sure. It was really clean under the house. Like, I give the homeowners total credit. Like, under the house wasn't, like, clearly their house is not infested with bugs. Like, they do a good job. But, I mean, you're going to get cockroaches outside anyway. And when he said that there are thousands of cockroaches, and we just both paused, and he's like, are you ready? And, like, 'cause I'm behind, like, I got Larry's feet right in front of my face, and I was like, no, let's go. And we just both kept going forward. And I was really under the impression I was crawling into thousands of cockroaches when I said that. But if somebody said there was a 2-year-old girl under a house, I guess I'm crawling through thousands of cockroaches. Like, because we got, like, my situation with these thousands of cockroaches will end in a couple minutes. And I want Larry's situation with finding his daughter to end. You know, like, I can handle a couple minutes of cockroaches to end it, like, to try to end this for Larry. Like, so but I didn't see that many. Thanks for giving you nightmares tonight. I mean, I know snakes are rather than spiders. Yeah, spiders creep me out, but, like, it's more the jump scare. I am very brave, Di. No. I don't know how... I'm very focused on what is right and what is wrong. It is wrong for somebody to... If there's a possibility somebody put a 2-year-old under a house, or, like, even just the possibility that somebody did that. You know, that's wrong. And I believe... And I just believe in that, you know, in right and wrong is, like, and I've got to correct the horror, like, I want to try to correct the horrible things that people have done that have cost people lives and that have changed people's lives completely and, like, destroyed families and people. And, like, if I can bring somebody a level of comfort or, like, a level of, like, I don't know, if I can bring anybody a positive feeling and with such a negative situation, I'm going to do it. And I guess if that means going through, like, a million cockroaches for a couple, like, for, like, 4 hours, like, just hanging out in cockroach land, I'd do it. Like, to help Larry, like, I mean, I don't know what could have been under the house to make me not go under there. I mean, a badger for sure. If there was a badger in the house, I would have called somebody first. I don't know though. Like, if it would have been conditions that could, like, that it was 150 or something under the house. It was actually it was like over 100 outside, and it was actually cooler under the house than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, anything for a child. Oh, thank you, Miss Siren. The worst thing to tell me is don't move. I can levitate 2 feet when someone says that. Oh, yeah, don't move. Okay. When I worked for the state survey, I had a high school student who was my field assistant, and we went out to do work with an ERI machine exactly like the one I have. And what we were doing was we were doing the ERI in fields above quarries. And, like, these quarry walls were so big, and when we took an ERI survey next to them, you could ground truth, or, like, you could look at the ERI data and compare it to what you're actually seeing in the side of the quarry. And that was like a project we were doing. And just to build confidence in the ERI process and all that. But the quarry owners, because we worked with a specific business, they warned us that there was, I don't know what we have I can't remember what we have in Wisconsin, but whatever thing drags, like, dead deer, like, roadkill deer and stuff into the, like, whatever eats that stuff, like, I don't know, do we have cougars? What is that? Puma, a tiger? Siberian tiger husky? I don't know. Whatever we have that drags deer from the road into quarries in Wisconsin, I was told to watch out for the dead deer that had been dragged into the quarries and into the fields next to the quarries. And so I told my field assistant that, because you can't see, like, in these fields with, like, the corn, like the cornfields, or like even like the grassy fields. You can't, like, you're moving so fast and stuff like that, like you're not really looking down and stuff like that. And I said, if I'm ever stepping in anything that I don't want to be stepping in, tell me first not to look down, and then tell me to walk away, and don't tell me what I was standing in. And because, like, we had seen a lot of things and almost stepped in a lot of stuff, and I was just like, if you see me standing in something and I don't realize it, first tell me not to look down, and then tell me to walk away, and don't tell me why. And oh my God, that same trip, that same field, I don't know if it was the same day, but that same field, we were standing there talking about, like, the next place we were going to do the train conductivity method to, like, this other complementary geophysical tool to also compare to the quarry walls and to the ERI data. We were, like, talking about where we were going to go with that, because that's an actual walking tool where you walk it along the field. And we were standing there talking about it, and he looks at me, like, his eyes get big, and he just looks at me, and he's just like, don't look down. Walk away. And I was like, done. I am not looking down, and I am walking away, because Jake's face is just so, like, he went from, we're just casually discussing something to, don't look down. And walk away. And I still to this day don't know why I was standing in it, and that's fine with me. I also don't know what the spider inside my sleeping bag in New Zealand looked like. I don't know. I was getting these really big spider bites in New Zealand while I was sleeping, and, like, they were so big and they were, like, weeping yellow, and I, like, was shaking out my bag all the time. Like, I couldn't figure out, like, there's gotta be no spider in here, right? Like, I, like, take my bag apart, and I'm like, how can the spider still be in the sleeping bag? And but I'm still getting, like, my legs are still getting, like, these yellow. Anyway, the guys that I was with, they were like, no, come on. And they tried shaking the sleeping bag the one day or whatever. And a big spider fell out. I know a big spider fell out. Because I almost saw the picture once. And they're like, do you want to see this? I'm like, no. Because we got another week in New Zealand. Nah, I don't want to see what was in my sleeping bag. And then later on I almost saw it, but I didn't look closely. And I stopped looking because I don't want to know what was in my sleeping bag. Yeah, oh my God. That spider in my sleeping bag. Yeah. I don't, you know what, on the outside, I looked like I did okay, Miss Siren, but, you know, you may think that I did better than you. But on the inside, I was so grossed out. I think I was like, stay away, I don't want to know what it looks like. They didn't, like, pick it up or anything. They took pictures of it, though. It was, like, big. Like, everybody crowded around it and, like, took pictures and thought it was crazy that it was in my sleeping bag. And that's why I didn't want to see it. That's why I don't camp anymore. New Zealand was great. Like, we went down for our geophysics seminar. Like, this group of, like, this is geophysics group from UW-Madison. We did the South Island for a week, but we had spring break the week before, and so a group of us, that was more in my seismic, I did seismic reflectivity. I did seismic survey stuff. That group, we decided to do the North Island for the spring break week, and then meet the rest of the students in the South for the school part. It was like, New Zealand was great. And I got to drive, I drove a van full of UW-Madison's finest geophysicist PhD students. I drove that van up the side of a mountain. Got really close to the edge. I don't like thinking about that. But I just remember thinking, wow, there are so many, like, to science, there are so many important people in this vehicle. And I'm the one driving it. And I got like the professor in charge of us like sitting next to me doing the directions, and it's like, I should not be the one driving this. This is too important of a group of people to have me in charge of going up the side of a mountain in this van. You don't do mountains either. Yeah, I mean, to visit there, like, I wanna go back. I almost did, because I didn't get my PhD yet, because I was thinking about wanting to be a professor at Madison for a while. I do not anymore, but when I was, they said I couldn't get all my degrees from Madison, and that's where I had my undergrad and my master's from. They said, like, go somewhere else, come back with, you know, more experience from somewhere else, like, and, like, then, once you have a PhD and postdoc from somewhere else, you could definitely be considered as a professor at Madison. But then I started the application process to do New Zealand. Which school in New Zealand? Man, now I can't remember which one specifically I was looking at. They were doing they core into they have a very unique fault line, because I was doing earthquakes and subduction zones and the research into tsunamis, and so I almost went down there, but I didn't, because they were doing some of their own research with like coring big cores into the ground, like they pulled out big thick cores of the ground of research, and I almost did that, but then I didn't. Because they wanted me to get my master's first and then apply. They wanted to make sure I got my master's, but then it's like, well, I wanted a smooth transition from my master's to my PhD, but I would have had like wait a year, and then I just never did it. And then I realized how great life is outside of like the grad school experience, and I want to get my PhD, but I don't really ever want to go back to that. I am glad we all survived too. I got really close to the edge this one time. Oh my gosh, because like when people pass you and it's like a 1.5 vehicle like road on these mountains going up, like there was a tour. Oh my god, it's because of the tour bus. I forgot the tour bus was going. What? It was going down while we were going up. I can't remember, but we're on the outside. Like how, like, if you drive on the left or whatever. Yeah, so we must have been going up, and we were like, I got so close, because like it was like this tour bus next to us on this like dirt road built for one. Like it was just oh my god, I got so close to the edge of that thing, and not intentionally, which is the part I don't like. If I intentionally got really close and was like, I got so close to the edge of the road, and there was a big drop off, I would have been like, and it was so cool. But it was more like, I did not realize how close I got to the edge. Oh my god. Was working in, is it Lakin or Lakin? Lakin, Kansas? And running cable around the roof, and 2 guys came in with white coveralls and yelled, got him. It was a huge Norwegian rat who they said got in cattle feed and was right above me. Oh my god. They also asked, do you want to see him? Did you? How do you react to that? Oh, hi Dom. How you feeling? Did you miss the awesome video premiere from earlier? I'm leaving that up. I don't care. Watch me fail. I apparently you guys weren't actually getting the you were just getting a repeat of the audio when I like was able to, when I pulled my microphone, and then I thought you guys were still hearing me. I didn't realize it was a repeat, so I like turned off all of everything on my computer that I could be picking up my sound. But I'm glad I did that, because I was saying some things that probably would make me want to take that video down. If you guys could have heard it. There is a good version of that video, and when I tried to make it a premiere, it is the bad version of that video, because it never showed up.
Did everybody have a good time? 'Cause I was so mad, and like I'm like sleepy already as it is, so it's really hard to stay pumped up and like excited when like this like it was just so miserable because like I worked really hard on that video, and it sat like in my life for a couple months. Like I learned a lot about how to like do a lot of the things like the animation and stuff like that using that video, and so I've been like living that video. For a couple months, just like learning things and getting it done, and I just wanted to be so perfect. I just wanted everything to be perfect about it, and then I couldn't even show it. I was like, I told Zach, I'm like, you know, I might quit. Just watched your video. I love that first video. I really hope you guys. Like, I really hope it wasn't, like, bad, dumb. Like, I hope it's not, I hope people don't like it because I look so bad. And I had my first quad at St. Luke's. Oh, yeah, wait, where are you? You're from Wisconsin? Did I know that? It was funny. Good. Wait, exited? What do you mean with siren? What did I miss? Oh, and exited, I see. I just got confused. Do I know that you're from Wisconsin? Racine. Oh, you're from Racine? Oh my god. I gotta get you on David's. I gotta get you. Can you stop into the sheriff's office and ask him just every like other week? Just there's a lieutenant that works on cold cases, and I can't remember his name. He said really fast, so I couldn't even write it down. So that's not fair. There's a lieutenant that works on cold cases, and I don't want to bug the David's cold case investigator because she is sick, and it's not a good thing to have that she has. And so she's been really great at moving David's case along, and like the lieutenant seems to be very proactive about it too. But I just don't want them to fall behind because there are things that they can do right now. There are things they want to do, and I just don't want to accidentally have David forgotten. And since that's the Racine County Sheriff, like if you want to just walk in there every once in a while and be like, "Hey, how's David Schwochert's case going?" It's Schwochert, Schwo and then Kurt, like the first name, like Schwo down. I don't know. My grandma had to tell me this, like, had to explain to me how to say Schwochert like 12 times because he's from Burlington. Like my grandma knows Schwochert. And but yeah, if you want to also bug Racine County for me, that'd be great. Susan. Is it Susan? Is that her first name? Yeah, back in January 1st, 1973, David was kidnapped from a gas station in Burlington and then murdered down the road. And it's not, like, there's a lot that can be done on this case still. And I know a lot, so, like, I don't want to say too much because they have entrusted me with a lot of information too, and it's been 51 years and I don't want to mess this up for everybody. And so but I do want them to keep moving on it because this is definitely doable, and it's doable soon. And so I don't want, like, she's sick, and I feel really bad that the investigator's sick, and so I want the lieutenant that is above her. I just want to make sure that he's still working on this, like, very strong. Yes, Midwest folk is here. Oh, your dad was a state trooper in 73? I mean, I know they got a lot of people from the area to look for him because he was missing for a couple hours. Because he was taken from the gas station and then murdered down the road. Yeah, if you wanted a little overview.
the gas station down. I don't know if you know Burlington so well, but across the street from Veterans Terrace, there was a gas station there. And that's where the Clark station was. And so he was kidnapped from there. And then everybody says he was found up by we got the Walmart in Burlington, like across the street there's the Taco Bell, because we got the Menards just up the street a little bit more. Like everybody, even the newspaper people, they say the Taco Bell property, or behind where the Taco Bell is now. And they said, and when I talked to the investigators, they said no, it's service road by Aldi's, or on the Aldi's property. And I don't think she meant this. I think she meant like, because it looks like there's a service road out here sometimes. And she said right by the river, so it was like here or somewhere around here is where he was found. And there's, it's still a very solvable case. And I don't want them to forget, because it needs to be solved. Like, I mean, there's a time limit on like how long until you like not just get justice by putting somebody away, but also get answers and talk to the person that did it, you know? And I like, people are aging, so let's keep moving on this before it's too late to do something for David. But there's still a lot of people that were involved in this that are alive, and so I just don't want to waste any more time getting this done. You fish in Burlington, and I can't see that little heart icon in chat. I can't see some of what is said sometimes, and there's a word that's missing. Know where that was. YouTube, that little heart icon. And the fact that YouTube doesn't let me play videos. YouTube just has so many little things that they just need to start getting right. But yeah. So I just went to those two places. I showed that, and then I showed somewhere between Burlington and Milwaukee the evidence was found. We went through Amber. I hope we get answers about that too. That could also be hopefully quickly resolved. So we'll see. Oh, we kind of went outside the perimeter. There's Donnie. I hope everybody enjoyed my cartoons. I look so much better as a cartoon. Yes, you know where that was. Oh, okay. Yeah, it chops out some of the sentences, the stupid heart icon. You'll move it for us. You wanna? Does everybody want to bug Racine County for me? There's a cold case here in Racine where an old lady was dismembered and distributed around a golf course. Identity of the dog had to find her body. Never thought. Really? I almost remember hearing about that. Good night, Southern Gal to Crime Dawn. Good night, thank you for stopping by. Why do I feel like I've heard that story? Oh, there was a Kansasville. I don't know how, like, my dad had a shop, an auto shop in Burlington. He knew a lot of just interesting people from around the area. And there was a guy who his wife had, so this is the story, his wife had a mental illness, and I'm an advocate for, like, the mental illness stuff I take very seriously. I don't use that as a negative thing about people, because it, like, just, I don't use mental illness as a negative thing, but, like, sometimes it has to be said. My dad, I think my dad knew somebody through the shop that his wife had a mental illness and she was supposed to be in her bedroom, but somehow she took off all her clothes and jumped out the window, and she did have a mental illness. Like, something was happening, and she, like, ran up the road, and I think she got picked up by a trucker or something. There's a weird story. and they never found her. And that was a couple decades ago too, I think. And that one just bothers me because, like, what happened to this guy's wife? Like, it's just so crazy. Just like, I want to say 83. Okay. Oh, Merry Christmas, Southern Gal to Crime. Right by your family's farm. This been, like, I know that David is kind of paired, like, when stuff happens with his case, he's paired with, like, this 17-year-old girl that was murdered. That's unsolved. Like, their cold cases are kind of paired with the same investigator. And, just crazy how many unsolved cases there are. Like, I don't know if anybody's ever had, like I was gonna bring this up at some point. Like, anybody that's ever had, like, something like that happen in their family. It's just so crazy. Like, when I lived in Seattle, so I can't remember what year, and this is gonna be really bad, but all the years have blended together, and so, but I should know the year. 2017, 2018. When my mom's cousin was murdered. When my mom called me, I was, like, sitting getting my hair done, and my mom called, and my mom says, like, she's like so upset, and she's like, somebody killed Lyle. And I'm like, you hear that, it's like, you know, car accident, like a mistake, an accident or something. Like, why would anybody, nobody would intentionally kill him. Well, no, like, freaking guy was, like, snuck into the garage and hit him over the head with a pipe. Like, he was intentionally killed. Like, mom was, like, it's just, like, crazy. Like, I just never thought, like, and just how, like, I mean, with my mom's cousin, like, I thought Lyle was awesome, and, like, I obviously grew up knowing about, like, we didn't live close to them, but we saw them, like, often at least when I was a kid. I didn't get to see them a lot when I was older, but, like, just, like, even people that are so far removed from that person, it's, like, it's just crazy how, like, something like that can impact people that, like, it's not just the person you kill, it's, like, the community and the close family members and, like, the extended, like, how can people just bring so much negativity to the world when they do something like that? It's just insane. It was all, he was my, like, at the time, like, we lost a lot of people. Like, this was, like, I just know this because around my wedding, we lost a lot of people in my family. And this was, like, the beginning of, like, it was just, it was bad. And he was, like, he was one of the healthier cousins, too. He'd still be around today, for sure, if he wasn't murdered. Lyle would still be around today. But it's just insane. And it was just insane how he, like, how could he, I just can't imagine somebody, like, even like, giving him a bad, like, even saying a sore word to him seems, like, just, like, unnecessary. Like, you would never even say anything mean to this guy. This guy was just so sweet. And to think that somebody went in there and hit him over the head with a pipe, like, how the hell can you do that? Yeah, they solved it. It was, they solved it right away. It was the, one of his, daughters it was her on again, off again, boyfriend. I know we had, police and stuff at the funeral, but, like, they got him pretty quick, but I can't remember if he was caught then by the time, like, I don't see why we would have had police at the funeral otherwise. I thought he was caught though right away. Maybe they thought there was somebody else involved, I'm not sure. They say it comes in threes. Oh my gosh, that kind of stuff does come in threes. Look at the news, like, when, like, it's insane. Like, this, yeah, there's so many people, but Lyle he would have still been alive today. he's a healthy guy. He was a good guy. He was just so sweet. How could you do that to somebody so sweet? Like, he was so nice. And, yeah. But, I mean, that's, yeah. I just can't imagine not knowing who it was, though, too. Like, I mean, I can't imagine. Like, after you, like, kind of know the feeling of something awful like that happening, it's like, you'd want justice, like, or if you went missing, like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. They would have had cops there to see if, yeah, they came or there was more to come. Yeah, I think I remember him, like, they knew where he was really quick, so I don't know if they thought there was somebody else that was helping him or something. I can't remember. Because I had to fly in from Seattle for that. And so, but I thought by the time I thought they knew where he was right away. So, it must have been, I don't know. I'll have to ask. Christina could answer it if she was here. But she left already because she's got to drive. But, yeah, so I want to right that, like, those wrongs, you know, like, I don't want to give people negative feelings like that. I want to try to fix those feelings. Like, you'll never be able to obviously bring somebody back, and you'll never be able to remove all the pain, but, like, I hate knowing that people feel that terrible, and I want to do something to try to alleviate it. So that's why I crawl underneath houses with spiders and snakes. Do you guys like my cartoon of Di? She brought soda. I almost put 3 sodas in the bag, but then it would have taken me longer to make it. Do you like my Lisa Frank-inspired cartoons? I make them in Illustrator. Who else is left? So Dawn left. Southern Gal True Crime. Is Di still here? Did Di fall asleep? Yeah. I thought I was gonna have my Diet Dr. Pepper next to me, but when I asked Zach, when I was messing around trying to get the other video started, I asked him if he could grab my soda from the bedroom, and he grabbed the Diet Coke from Domino's instead of my Dr. Pepper. Or I totally would have been like, you mean this Diet Dr. Pepper? But it's Diet Coke. But there is a Diet Dr. Pepper in my bedroom right now that's open. Yes, that was me in the video. Yeah, I met 2 strange guys from the internet down in Texas. What's even kind of funnier is it's not, like, our hotel wasn't really in Dallas. It was in somewhere that Terrell. I can't remember which one. One of them is so wrong that the cops who you say where your hotel is and you say Terrell or whatever, if you say the wrong one, they don't know what you're talking about, which is just insane. They don't know that you mean to say it the other way. They just think that now you don't even know where your hotel is, and you met some weird guys on the internet, and they're really into crimes. And I don't know. The guy wasn't worried about me. By the time it got to by the time the questioning part of the interviews got to me at the police station, wherever we were, everything was kind of resolved. Like, all the confusion was resolved about who we were and stuff. But Christina, Detective Fuente really thought that I had gotten Christina into something really bad. Tyrell or Tyrell? You think we lost a lot of people? It's been hovering around the same number. Oh, yes, thank you for stopping by, Miss Siren. And no problem. come back for the next one. You're fun. I enjoyed having you in chat. You are one of the OGs. Original gangsters in chat. And there will always be a special place in my heart for the people who were sweet to me tonight. Tear? Oh, like tearing something. Terrell. Terrell. How do I emphasize that last part? Oh yeah, Merry Christmas too. You know, it doesn't even matter because it was just insane that they didn't know which place I was talking about when I said it wrong. Oh my gosh. That interview. Well, and the night that we were down there, the night that everything was going down because of what we found under the house, and like that we ended up sending away for testing and all that, and like everybody came in, like the medical examiner and stuff. That night, Dallas's because her house is in Dallas, our hotel was just out in that other place. But the house we were working at is in Dallas. And Dallas's police department system, or their emergency system, whatever, everything got hacked. So they didn't have, they had to do everything by paper and stuff. It was just like the worst night. Like whoever hacked into the police department stuff, or I'm not sure if it was all the emergency stuff, whoever hacked into that, and they just couldn't do their work that night. I'm gonna have to look. You could look it up probably online exactly. Like it was like the May 1st through like the 6th or so. It was the 3rd, May 3rd of this year. In Dallas, there was because it was the day before my anniversary. My husband and I had our 4-year anniversary on May 4th, and but he knew this was important, so we just celebrated later. So May 3rd is when they got hacked, and it just made everything so much worse. And so whoever hacked into Dallas' stuff and made trying to help Larry and Amber so much even extra harder, just know your hacking was not cool to begin with, and it was definitely not cool after you made it harder to try to locate a little girl. You never know when you do stupid stuff like that what you're actually ruining. No, that's Texas for you. Wait, which part was Texas? There's a delay in the chat, and I don't see stuff pop up right away. It makes me look dumb. I'm not dumb. And you know what else is dumb? This picture of Di at the cemetery. I like it. You got the sun shining down. I was really looking to see if we could see a ghost in the background. That one? I'm in Highland Park because I might do a thing about because we were here for I have a story about when the shooting happened here, because we were already moved here by then. But I'm from Burlington, Wisconsin, but right now I'm in north suburb of Chicago. No, it doesn't stop. I already forgot what it was. I've talked so much tonight. I already forgot what I was talking about. I'm so sorry. I'm usually actually better at 12:50 a.m. than I'm showing tonight. It says we still have 8 viewers. I don't believe that. And I believe that, so there's at least 2 people chatting, so there's 3 of us. Well, I don't know if I count because I'm actually not on YouTube. So there's 2 and my husband might be watching. To the Sheboygan County Asylum and caught 3 ghosts. Like, oh, you went there? The guy who does, we do quarterly pest management thing just to make sure we don't got bugs and stuff. And that guy that comes, I like that. This guy is awesome. And he did that with his wife. And he said that that was a really cool place to go. And I saw it on that show with Dakota from Ghost Adventures with Destination Fear. I think they went there. Yeah, Highland Park, it's in Illinois. It's a nice place. I wish I could move my house. I love my house. I wish I could. It's a very nice community, and I have great neighbors. So, but being from Wisconsin, I never thought I would live in Illinois. So I'm not talking smack about Highland Park. But in general, I do talk smack about Illinois because I'm from Wisconsin. That's awesome. Yeah, I saw their Project Fear now. I did see that. Who's your favorite? I really liked Ghost Adventures until they just started talking about their feelings. I am not. I am not a fib now. Wait, I'm pretty sure that stands for blanking Illinois blank, right? Oh, I'm never becoming a Bears fan. Hell no. I did have a friend from Kenosha that was a Bears fan, though. That was weird. But he had a lot of family from Chicago. You hate them? I really enjoyed, because I did, because I did the House in Between Two with Steve from Ghost Hunters, and I really like Steve, and it's just, like, I totally believe everything that, like, the Robot Ninja Productions and Steve and just, like, and Alice, a homeowner, it's just, like, if they don't get something, they're just not going to have something to show you. Like, they're not going to make something up. And Brad and John from down there, and Amy, the Ghost Hunters from down there, they're awesome. They're like, if they don't get something, like, they have cameras running all the time at that house, and if they don't get something at that house, like, they just won't have something to show you. Like, I don't know if you've watched because I mentioned the House in Between Two a couple times. I really, like, I did see a guy in the backyard, and I was not told about a guy being seen in the backyard in a white shirt. I had no idea that was a thing, especially, like, something that already, like, if it was reoccurring or if there was, like, somebody who had already seen it. I did not know that. Like, they didn't tell me nothing. Like, because they want first reactions and first experiences, like, all that stuff to be on camera. Because they want, like, so I thought it was a real guy because they didn't let me even meet people. Like, they didn't let me meet Alice, the homeowner, until it was for, like, filming. And then I could talk to her afterwards, but they wanted the first conversations with her to be filmed. Like, they just want your first reactions to things to be filmed. And so I thought the person that I saw in the backyard was just somebody that they hadn't let me meet yet. But it was not. It was not a person. Because I never took my eyes off of that area. But it also didn't show up on the security cameras. Like, because there was a security camera there. And I don't know if it would have been because of, like, the tent blocked it, but because the tent could have blocked. I don't know. We looked and we didn't, like, I looked that night and they looked through the stuff later and there was, like, it's not here. I didn't think that it was gonna really be in the documentary at all because, like, we were just like, I said it, like, and we did a whole bunch of interview stuff out there after I saw it because, like, it was weird. It was, but, like, I don't know, because at that point it still seemed like a regular guy to me. But I totally believe those guys because, like, they're like, we didn't get it on a security camera and they're not gonna make anything up. Like, they just didn't have anything to show proof wise, but they had my story in it still. about Joliet Prison, I think. I really want to go to Bachelor's Grove. And apparently Robinson Woods, which is near me. It's near John Wayne Gacy's house, actually, over by O'Hare. That's supposed to have spook lights. And I want to see, the thing I think that if we want to solve something in the paranormal world, in like our lifetime, I think the easiest thing that we could try to resolve is like the paranormal, the light phenomena. And I don't think it's swamp gas. And everybody needs to stop saying swamp gas. As soon as people say swamp gas, I cringe. And then I either turn the TV off or yell at them or whatever makes me feel better right away. All they did was that I know I've seen it. Oh, I also like Ghost Nation, and I know that I've seen a Joliet Prison one. I just couldn't remember all the prisons. I like the houses that people are living in currently. So like they can tell you what they've experienced, and they have like people that have like the security footage and stuff. And like, I want the shows to do more of those. Like I know online the Foreman Brothers with Paranormal Nightmare. They go to a lot of houses, and their audio has gotten so much better because their audio was like really hard to hear, but now it's getting better. And so I like watching those guys. But I'm really interested in that stuff, especially now after what happened. Like, I know my in-laws were like, she's gonna be the skeptic scientist, and it's like, I'm the skeptic scientist, and like, I mean, I definitely, like, I don't know about my grandma coming back and haunting my kitchen cabinets, but, I am very interested in finding, like, just like with Bigfoot, there's a lot of people that are having an experience where they think they see ghosts or they think they see Bigfoot or aliens or whatever. And like, I mean, whether we think they're actually experiencing that or not, we should probably look into it, because it's weird that so many people, like, if there isn't a Bigfoot, we gotta figure out why everybody thinks they see Bigfoot. I'm really into the Bigfoot thing recently, though, because of the military guys and all the stories that are coming, like, all the, like, crazy stories about the military dealing with Bigfoot. Megan's got a lot of paranormal shows canceled. Oh, wait. Who canceled what? Yeah, I know I still watch Ghost Adventures sometimes if it's like looks like an episode I want to watch, but it's not like one of my main shows I watch anymore. But that's only basically, I don't know about drama and stuff. What I do know is that I just don't want to hear a bunch of guys talk about their feelings all night. Big cryptid person here. Yeah, I mean, I just find it interesting, like, after like doing physics, especially in undergrad when I did physics and I got to do the astrophysics lab and stuff, and you start to talk to people from the other labs and like just people who do research and stuff, you start to realize they're like these people that are doing research, and you learn about the different research projects from the other labs, and it's like UW-Madison is not like a silly little lab doing silly little questions and stuff. It's like, this is like what we know about this topic in physics, and this is what they want to know. And like, I mean, we don't know beyond that apparently, and like, so we don't know, like, and it's just like makes you think, like, I think good scientists realize that we don't know a lot about science at all. And so the possibility of something, like, it's possible that like all like this paranormal stuff could, like, this paranormal phenomena could really be a part of science that we just don't understand yet, like, because we don't understand a lot at all. And that's just the part that makes it fun. Like, it's possible, like, so I mean, I don't know if I saw a guy in the backyard that wasn't actually there, but why? Like, there's so many different reasons. Like, did he actually materialize? Did he make the, did he make my brain, like, through, like, a chemical or electrical thing? Did he make my brain see him there because he wanted me to see somebody walk? He wanted me to see him walking there, so he made my brain come up with that image, and that's why nobody else saw him, because only I saw him because it was my brain producing that image. Or did he actually do it? Like, that's all possible. Or, I don't know. It could have been a normal thing. It could have been a not paranormal thing that I saw, which I can't think of what it would be because there wasn't a person there, but maybe there was. Like, I'm open to all of that. And so I'm a skeptic because, like, I just don't know yet, and I want to know. I want to know answers about everything. And that's why I'm totally into watching the ghost shows, because, like, it's just fascinating that, like, it's a possibility that lady that said she saw somebody in her house who was a ghost, possibility that that's true, and I want to know why. And I want to hear more stories like that, because I want to know more of why this is happening. We got big cryptid person here. Zach Bacon's got a lot of shows canceled. There's a lot we don't know, just like giants could actually be real. The giants thing is crazy. Do you listen to Mr. Ballin and his, like, most popular story? I don't know if it's the most popular story anymore, but the military guys encountering the giant. I think it's, like, one of his most popular stories. I mean, it used to be his most popular one. That's an insane story. Mr. Ballin. I mentioned a lot of shows and YouTubers right now. I do not endorse necessarily. But I do tell you what I currently think is acceptable to watch. Zach Bacon's not really acceptable anymore. But yeah, I like, if I have to just listen to, there's been a lot of, like, there's a possibility I might be working on another thing around this area, and so I've been having to listen to a lot of YouTube, like, podcasty things lately, but if I don't have to do that, but I need something to listen to because I don't listen to music when I do work, Mr. Ballin's a good one to listen to. But I might head out. I still gotta eat dinner and lunch. I guess I had breakfast. I got nervous about not being able to show my video. I really wanted to make sure that everything went really smoothly tonight. I got really worried that it wasn't going to go smoothly, so I didn't really even get a chance to eat today. And it did not go smoothly, but I don't care, whatever. I hope everybody enjoyed my freaky audio in that first video that is totally staying up because, like, everybody said they wanted it to stay up, so hey, I guess that premiere video that didn't work out for me is going to stay up. Is Di still here? Did she say goodbye? I don't think we really have 7 people in here. But Di, are you still awake? Have one of your 5 dogs nudge you. Yeah. Have a great night too, and Merry Christmas to you. And oh, you're still there. Yeah, all that worrying did not help because it still went bad. It was a dumpster fire. I almost said, because I wanted to let the person from Florida, who we're going to be working with, because she mentioned that she was going to watch some of our YouTube stuff, and so I told her, like, oh, we're going to be, like, Chris is going to be live tonight, I'm going to be live tonight. I almost mentioned that I was, like, going to say, like, you know, but my premiere video might be a dumpster fire, but everybody's really nice, so so if you want to join the chat, it should be okay no matter what. But then I was like, I'm not gonna say that because I don't want, like, cause if it's gonna go smoothly, and I don't want her to think that I was expecting a dumpster fire. I was expecting a dumpster fire, and I got one. Oh, I haven't gotten to meet Di's dog yet, but I want to. Alright, good night, and good night, Di. I'm gonna go eat, and sleep tight, everybody, and I hope everybody feels well for the holiday season, and Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year if I don't see people. All right. I'm gonna wait a second because there's a lag in the chat. That just bothered me so much because I just feel like I miss out. Like, I just look dumb, like, answering questions from, like, 45 seconds ago. All right. Bye-bye. There's Di.